cigarettes, beer cans and TV remotes. Now, what do those three things have in common? Well, to me, they probably would summarise somebody who is a total couch potato. But about a year ago, or about 18 months ago in Ireland, some of the parish priests were giving out that these were the items that were being brought up to represent a loved one at a funeral. Now, I don't know what your religion is like, but again, this may be just an Irish thing, I'm not too sure. But what they do sometimes at a funeral is, at the mass, they would have maybe the smaller kids have a little procession where they would collect items at the back of the church and take them up to the front. So you could have things like maybe a football jersey if someone was a big GAA footballer or soccer player, or you'd have something like representing them like that. Or they may take up maybe a trophy, or they may take up a painting, or something that that person had done in their life, and it kind of represented them in some way. So the kids would go up and they'd hand them over to the priest, and the priest would kind of lay them all around the coffin, and this was, little symbols of that person's life, what they had done, what they achieved, and what they had left behind them. But for whatever reason, somebody had a clever idea that, why not just take up a packet of cigarettes, because my father or my mother was a great smoker? Or how about if I take up maybe a 6-pack of beer because my brother was a great drinker? He was never out of the pub, he was drinking constantly, and he was a great social animal. Or how about I take up a TV remote control because my granny done nothing all day but just sitting on her arse just watching TV every single day, and that represents her. Now, as you're probably well aware, the last thing a priest probably wants to take off you at a funeral is cigarettes, alcohol and TV remotes, because it doesn't really paint that person in a good light. Now, some people had complained, said, well, we can take up whatever we want, it's not up to you, it's up to us, this is what represents our loved one's life. But at the end of the day, is that what you want to be remembered for? Someone who smoked a lot, someone who drank a lot, or someone who just sat on their arse just watching box set after box set of TV? And those three things summed up your life. Now, I hope you are a little more ambitious than that. I hope you want to leave more behind you than something like that. So that is what I want you to think about today. God forbid it was your funeral tomorrow. Now, you can say I'm morbid or whatever, I don't really care, but you're going to have to face up to it at some stage. We're not going to be on this planet forever. If Michael Jackson couldn't live forever with all his oxygen tanks and all his medicine and all that, there's not much hope for you or me. One day we are going to pop our clogs and we aren't going to be here anymore. So consider that for a moment. If it was your funeral tomorrow, how would your family and friends represent you? What would they take up to the altar to represent your life? Would it be something, like a TV remote? Would it be something like beer or cigarettes? Or would it be something more than that? So I want you to consider that today. Maybe if you have been just kind of toying along with being the idea of being a writer, or, a blogger, or creating courses or coaching or whatever it is, making a difference in someone's life, if you have been kicking that idea around, maybe it's time to get serious about it, because again, these things don't really matter when you've passed over, but you really want to leave just that is what the lasting memories of your life on this planet was like, that you just smoke, you drank and you watch TV. So give that some thought today. What would your family take up to represent you at your funeral? And if right now it's not too much, well, again, this is totally up to yourself. You can do whatever you want. We're all grown-ups, we can eat donuts 24/7 if we want to, but maybe it's time to wake up or get out of that kind of stupor that you're in at the moment and go and do something with your life. Have something that you can look back on and be proud of, that you've achieved, even if it's just a kid's book or something like that, where you've entertained only maybe 20 people in the world, you have made a difference in someone's life. So consider that today. What would represent you at your funeral? Would it be just cigarettes, beer cans and TV remotes? Or would you leave something more worthwhile behind you as a kind of, a lasting reminder of what you did on this planet? So give that some thought today. Again, it's a little bit morbid, but we're all going in the one direction anyway, so it's time to kind of wake up and cop on to yourself. So as always, if you'd like to find this great content, do a search for WriteCome. That's WriteCome.com. You'll find the content all over the web. And if you're listening to this as a podcast episode, just click the subscribe button or leave a review or whatever. I would really appreciate that. And if you do subscribe, I'll send all the next episodes to you. Or if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, click on the little bell item or whatever YouTube has at the moment and subscribe to the channel. And again, I'll make it as easy as possible. I will send all the content directly to you. So, as always, have a great day. But what are we going to put on your coffin? Take care. Bye-bye.